Boom. There we go. Thanks, Scott, for letting me know. Appreciate it. We'll bring this up. Okay, everyone. Hello. How are you all going? Welcome to the chat. Fire up the printers. So we have, well, we have our official results today for GDP falling. So I've got trading economics. I thought we'd have a look at this and just look at a few other things. And where are we here? So this is the GDP growth rate quarter on quarter. It was forecast at 7. GDP growth rate year on year forecast at negative 6.3. So let's do a refresh. Okay, ready? I'm going to have a shiner coffee because this is the reason I'm doing this in the middle of the day, everyone. This is a historic moment. This is a historic moment. Okay, here we go. Here we go. And it didn't update. Come on. I've got, oh, whoa. I've got the ABS over here. Okay. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. There you go, everyone. A negative 7% fall. 7% fall. So look at this. We're getting about half a quarter. So it's what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.5. Shit. Negative 7% fall. Mad Max for Australia in 2 years. Well, yeah, I have been. I've been trying to look for Mad Max backgrounds for my thumbnails on stock images. Maybe I should. Maybe I'll need to get a few more. So, thank you to everyone who's joining us today. We've got. Oh, I can't change that. We've got a few people in Twitch. Thanks, PubTest. PubTest is saying my mistake was clickbait to attract people's eyes. Exactly. Yes, it was. It was completely intentional, just like Trump himself. Everything is planned here at HeiseSays. Completely 100%. Completely 100%. Can you show a graph of the stock market? Okay, let's we'll go for a few things. First, before we go through the actual information, let's have a look here at, we'll go to the index, ASX 200. And, okay, it's sitting up. We'll go here at the hourly rate, 1 minute rate. 60.47. 60.47. 1 second. I keep changing. G'day, Flying Wombat. Thanks for joining. How you all going? So the stock market, we'll have to keep an eye on it to see how it goes. We'll have to keep an eye on it to see how it goes. Let me just... wait a minute. Wait a minute. There we go. There we go. Okay, great. So, let's have a look at some stuff here. So, gross domestic product in Australia contracted 7% in the second quarter of 2020 over the previous quarter. 7%. 7%. So what is GDP growth year on year? So year on year is negative 6.3. And what the... Okay, so it's worse than expected. It's worse than expected. Negative 5.2. Flying sometime... I don't really pay much attention to Twitter, mate, you know. To be honest, it's too social justice-y for me. And whenever I go on there, I just see John is just frustrated with how, what is it, Facebook's banning everything, you know. So that maybe I need to get more involved. So we've grown worse than expected. And what's the forecast here? It was, forecast was negative 5.9 quarter on quarter. Trading economics was a negative 6.2. And it was worse than expected. So negative 7. Negative 7%, guys. Let's jump over here. And let's have a look at the data from the ABS. Let's have a look at some of the data from the ABS. Boy. Kathy is saying, many people have been living in a recession for several years, and now the second year has joined us. I think it's going to be felt a bit wider. Hamish is happy he works in a grocery store. I mean, this is the first recession in 28 years, everyone. The first recession in 28 years. Well, actually, you can't see the... Okay, you can't see the chat when that's coming up. I'll bring this over here. Got gold, Heise. Yes, I mean, no, not at all. It all fell off a boat. It all fell off a boat. My most recent investment actually has been some Apple shares, to be honest, to try and leverage the you know, take advantage of the crazy situation that's going on overseas, the money printing. We'll see how it goes. So let's have a look at this, everyone. Let's have a look at some of the GDP summary. The Australian economy fell by 7% in seasonally adjusted chain volume measures. GDP fell 7.6% in seasonally adjusted current price measures. So it depends which method do you want, guys? Which method do you want? Hunger Games coming soon. House saving ratio increased to, here we go. This is it right here. Look at that. Look at that. Flying Wombat asked who didn't think we were in a recession. Because just look around the stores and people shopping as well. Yeah, you're right. I don't think anyone is surprised that we're in a recession. But I think it's just... it's still going to be a hit. It's still definitely going to be a hit to people. Look at that. Look at that household saving ratio. Has more than tripled. More than tripled, guys. Am I getting a bit of a stutter? I am. Here, hang on, let me reset that there. Let's see if that works. Wow. So GDP per capita. These will go from June 19 to June 20. GDP is down 6.3. Per capita is down 7.4. Gross value added market sector down 8.2. What's going on here? Why isn't this updating? Oh, here we go. GDP quarter 2, negative 7%. Yeah, you're right, Richard. You're right. Real net national disposable income down 6.9%. Productivity, GDP per hours worked is at 4.1. Real unit labor cost is negative 9.3. Prices, GDP chain price index original 0.3. Trade terms negative 1.8. Let's see what's their... Oh, there we go. There we go. Look at that. Look at that hit. Melbourne is screwed. This is all government manufactured. Melbourne is, well, Richard is going, wow, savings at 19.8%. Yeah, that's insane for Australia. That's insane. Michael's shocked that we're having a recession. You know, Michael's shocked that we're having a recession. And Rolf thinks we're going to see the bounce back up right up here. Okay, so you're predicting this is the trough. It'll bounce right back up. Need some more coffee. Well, guys, this is lost decade, you reckon? Lost decade. Sodom. Somtum. Dale is going, people are saving for a rainy day, but the storm is already here. You're right there, mate. You're right. Just flatten the curve. Yeah, I need to get a mask made up with flatten the curve and have this here as the curve flattening down. This here is the curve flattening down. Let me know actually in the chats if I'm stuttering with my stream, just with me, with a picture of me, because this. The computer's getting a bit dodgy. I'm shutting down some stuff. There isn't a V-shaped recovery, no. Matt is moving to Canberra. Let's have a look. Connection's perfect? Okay, maybe it's just my computer. So, contribution to GDP. A mask with a graph would be good fun. Yeah, okay, I'll try. I think Teespring can do it. Now with my new graphics art skills, if you've all been noticing my new thumbnails, I've been teaching myself a new program called Affinity Photo. So if you're spending money on Photoshop, have a look at Affinity Photo, guys. It's crazy. So cheap, so good. So, general government consumption. Government to the rescue is up. Household consumption plummeted. Private capital formation down. Public capital formation a tiny little bit up. Change of inventories down. Exports down. Imports are up. GDP down. What else do we have here about this release? Quarterly estimates of key economic flows in Australia, including GDP. Analysis. Okay. GDP fell a historic 7% this quarter. Well, let's bring up... is this the quarterly one? Yes, let's bring up the max data on this. Whoa! Okay. Now, look at this. This is GDP. Guys, remember around here? We had a recession. Remember that? I keep bringing up that chart showing office vacancy rates. Look at this. Bloody hell. Am I the only one shocked? Hey, it could have been 10%, so it's all good. No, Michael, no, mate. This is worse than they predicted. They predicted like 6.3 or 5 or something. This is worse. This is much worse. I mean, this is the impact of their interventions into the economy. And I saw an article yesterday on news.com. Now's the good time to buy. Now's the good time to buy property. With this! Everyone's blaming Victoria. Oh, we'll have to see. Wow. China must be loving this. Maybe. Victoria's at fault. Well, we can blame Victoria for everything anyway, but it's not entirely their fault. They're not the reason why we're in the situation we are entirely, are they? With regards to our economy being completely dependent on, you know, building houses, digging stuff out of the road and out of the ground and serving each other coffee. Richard's still in a loop about the savings rate. Oops. Patreons are coming up. What am I doing? I'm pressing the wrong buttons. I'm pressing the wrong buttons. So, has there been any media? Has Josh Frydenberg given a speech? Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Let's see if he's Let's see if he's got anything there on Facebook. So we can have a look at that. Wow. I mean, this is going to be a dose of reality, guys. Oh, Hamish. Hamish has the solution for us. I just saw it there. Don't worry, guys. Property is always going to go up. Well, shit, if property can go up in this kind of market, then yeah. All the doomers, completely forget about them. Everything they've been saying is wrong. If property can still go up with this, well, no, it just means that that's where they're going. Joel is saying just sell more coffees. Just sell more coffees. No, there's nothing here. It's just about his economic lifeline. So they've extended JobKeeper. Flying Wombat's waiting for the property to go boom over on Twitch. More 7-Eleven coffees for Heise. Yeah. Well, no, I'll have to cut back. I'll have to go to the good old, what is it? Aldi cheap ass super cheap coffee right here, guys. Aldi real cheap coffee. We'll see if he releases anything here. So let me know if you hear of him going out on a statement, and we'll bring it on. Keep selling the smashed Av on toast. So let's see what else. I mean, this is just quite dramatic. It really is quite dramatic. You know, this is well, hopefully a once-in-a-lifetime thing. If we just look at this. So this is... There's no comparison to recessions in living memory. The recession Australia had to have, this is nothing. Nelson thinks ASX and the Australian dollar to the moon. Yeah. Oh, thanks, Chat Mod, for the super chat. I appreciate it. You Aussie Canute. I don't know what that is. Is that a racial slur over there for Canadian? All I know about Canada I learned from South Park. Thank you very much. And that should be coming up here with a special thing. I don't know why it didn't. I don't know why it didn't. The depression Australia can't avoid. Oh, there we go. Ah, okay. I think he means the C word. Okay. All good. All good. I'm learning. I'm learning. I'm learning. Oh. It won't let you post it. Okay. Yeah. A good opportunity to buy BBOS and BIOS for gains. So you're expecting the market to fall. That would make sense, wouldn't it? You'd expect the stock market to take a hit here, the ASX to go down. But we're not living in a normal world, are we? Are we? You know. What if the Reserve Bank just starts going nuts, doing whatever they can? Michael thinks they've already priced it in, and he's expecting a rebound. We'll have to have a look. I'll update it here. The one-day chart. We'll go 10 minutes. We'll have to see. We'll have to see. A lot of smart people are saying it will crash now. The market, they might suspend trade like the Nasdaq did. Do we have trading halts here in Australia, like the US? Oh, there you go. See, it's ticked up 2 points. Somos is going to short Apple. What about Tesla? Mr. Nice Guy, it was 2 years before housing bottomed and after the '07 subprime. It was 2 years. And Dale is reminding us that the markets can remain irrational for longer than we can. Yes. Wow. Let's have a look at what... Let's have a look at what the news is saying. If anything's coming up. COVID recession confirmed as Australia's economy posted its biggest fall on record. We've officially entered recession. What's news.com saying? Worst ever Australia's recession confirmed. Oh, and Reject Shop surprise new items. Fantastic. I'm waiting. Is there any statement coming out from Frydenberg? We'll have to see. I mean, this is not going to be normal, guys. This is definitely not going to be normal. There we go. The real economy is trashed, Rolf said. Jessica thinks it's incredible and it's a wonderful time to be alive. And Flying Wombat says he won't do anything until around 4 p.m. this afternoon. Beige is arguing for a RBA rate cut. Should have cut what? Yeah, but you have to understand the rates are so low, mate. It's not going to make any difference. It's a 0.25. It has less and less impact the lower you go. You know, it's not going to make any difference. Our saving rates are too high now. We're at 19% saving. How many people are just going nuts? People are hoping for a universal basic income and debt jubilee. Well, we'll have to see. We'll have to see. I don't know. I think it's screams of a fantasy world. They want to keep us all indebted. Mr. Nice Guy has a good one. At least we don't have inflation. Hashtag lols. Yeah, Michael, that is the law of diminishing returns. At this point, it's kind of pointless for them to cut it anymore. RBA thinks they'll go to negative 5.5. Otherwise, the AUD is heading, the dollar's heading up. What's the dollar looking at now? Let's check that out. Let's check that out. Forex 73. It's gone down slightly. Indexes ASX 200. It's gone up. So yeah, maybe they have priced it in. Gold to rise to 10,000. Oh, we'll have to see. We'll have to see. I don't know, Tim. I wouldn't put all your eggs in one basket, though. Mr. Pink, money's on negative interest and the cash ban will come in. Yeah, well, you know. Buy Bitcoin and Ethereum. Go nuts, guys. Wow. The Fed will let inflation rise. Will the RBA follow? Well, they're trying to get inflation up. They're trying to get it up. They're failing it. Failing at it, apparently. But we're all saving. So is this the hidden secrets of money playing out, guys? Is everyone, you know, a saving rate is really high. People are scared. People are worried. Chainsaw is saying it's a long game, property. Maybe, mate. Maybe. But this is not a recession like we've had in the past. Look here. This isn't normal. This isn't normal. This isn't like in the 80s. You know. This is not normal. It's crazy. So, have a look at what happened in the Great Depression with the market, how it took a few years to fall. Joe's thinking they'll do a V-shaped recovery. Hang on, I'll do the custom emoji. Come on. There we go. Look at that. Look at that. Boy. People have to live somewhere. Yeah, no, they do need to. Well, they do, but they don't need to live somewhere comfortable. You can cram more people in together. People can go a bit tougher. Here's the question, Flying Wombat. You know, when property goes boom, you'll see a lot of houses up on the market for less than they paid for. Here's another consideration with that, guys. What about building approvals and constructions? What about when it's cheaper for you to buy an existing house than to go through all the hassle of building? What's going to happen then to all the trades, all the businesses, that entire part of the sector? That's a whole other part of the economy that's going to cop it. This is a whole well, it's going to have big flow throughs. There's going to be a generation that'll wake up. To this. You know, people that have never encountered a recession, that have never had tough times. That's a dramatic fall. Rolf is asking why buy ASX now when dividends are collapsing. For the hope of capital gains, I think. People are expecting that. Maybe good news. It's all emotional based. You got to understand. Begotten is saying construction on ending themselves watch. Yeah. Jane, you got to remember, mate, there is a whole lot of oversupply. There's like 40,000 units in New South Wales that have been built or in the pipeline. There's a lot of stock out there. Just drive around, you can see all the units. There's entire buildings in suburbs, all of South Brisbane. There's buildings with hardly any gone. There's a lot of stock there, and it's starting to flood in the market. Did you watch my my video about the investor exodus in Sydney? Prices are starting to fall 15% since April for units. That's the investors. They're getting out. REITs are about to collapse. Opinions are good. My second recession much better prepared this time. Well, see, that's a good thing. You learn from this. You learn. It's not the end of the world, guys. It's not the end of the world. It's a dose of reality. There are opportunities in recession. There are opportunities to make money. There are opportunities to create new business. It's not the end of the world. It's not the end. You can dig out, and sure, you may need to make some sacrifices. You may need to change the quality of your life. But that's all part of it. I mean, here's the thing. For those of you that are prepared, get in touch with your friends that aren't. At least be a voice of reason. Some people, you don't want people offing themselves over this. It's just not worth it. It really isn't worth it. Uncommon sense, bring on the hard times, melt a few snowflakes. It'll be good for people. Matt, prices for units in Canberra went up. How do you explain that? It's Canberra, mate. It's Canberra. Here, look. I'll bring up the property data room. We'll have a look at this. We'll have a look at this. It's a different world. I mean, it's full of civil servants, for one thing. But if we go to the property data room, let's have a look here. We'll look at offices. So commercial leasing. Okay? And we'll go down here. Where is it? Office vacancy rates. Have a look. See this? See that climb up there in 92? 92, 93, went up over 20% in Australia. I mean, shit, look at the no GDP for hardly anything. There's the recession right there. Look at this. Anyway, look at that. Now let's go to Sydney. Boom. Melbourne. Boom. Even good old Brisbane. Boom. And we all know Darwin didn't exist back then. And then Canberra. Boom. Oh, you can't see it because of your comment. There you go. It's a different market, mate. It's not it's the civil servant world. It's not the same. The cost of living in Canberra is very high as well. Yes, yeah, I know that flying wombat. That's why we looked at that article where people are just moving across the border to get away from all the costs. But it is a separate world. It is a separate world. People will probably go there. They'll invest there to kind of, well, avoid the impact on other sectors. So this is just Mr. Nice Guy is going hashtag more free money. Yeah, well, what are you going to do with the free money? What are you burning it into? Hey, at the very least, if we get hyperinflation, our mortgages, you'll be able to pay it off for like a couple $100. That could be the good thing. That could be the good thing. I need a coffee. Deferred gratification from a guy who can't handle a 6-week lockdown. Nah, mate, you don't get the point. It's to do with the abstraction of civil liberties. If it's voluntary, that would be a different thing. You don't understand. For us, the lockdowns made no difference. Honestly, even if they may be more strict. Flying's asking, how's the wife going? Great. She took the kids to swimming lessons today. It's all going well here. So, hashtag no more hashtags. Hashtag sponsored content. What else do you want to talk about, guys? We've got the fall here. Maybe we should go to the ABS. Let's see what else we can see from this thing. How's this going to affect unemployment rate, everyone? It'll be interesting to see consumer confidence. It'll be interesting to see consumer confidence. Mr. Nice Guy is saying the markets have to address all the malinvestment, but the markets won't be allowed to address it. The market isn't allowed to respond. You know? They won't be able to respond. The Grand Wizard is asking, how long will this recession last? Mate, you're the wizard. Aren't you be able to tell the future with your magic? That's the thing. How do we know? Somtum, we no longer live in a free market. Yeah, well, we don't. What have you heard? Have you heard there's talk of having a internet transaction tax as a response to Facebook? What kind of a shitty country are we? An internet transaction tax. What is that going to do for opportunity and innovation here in Australia? What is that going to do for innovation here in Australia? People think the middle class is systematically wiped out. I wouldn't say it's systematic. I'd just say it's gross incompetence and overreaction. You know, they don't need a plan to be this stupid, guys. A hyperlink tax. Yeah. I mean, that's just gonna... It's the final parting gift of a dying generation and a dying industry to fuck our country. That's what I see that as. You know, and I know people hate bloody Facebook. I know they hate all this other stuff. It's just a final parting gift. So, Shelley's going, rethink how you diversify your revenue streams. Yes. Mr. Nice Guy's asking about this Facebook tax. Mate, I'll do a video on it later today. I've only just... It's a response from the ACCC to Facebook. I'm swearing, Jessica. Sorry, I should be on my best behavior. I should be on my best behavior. Centrelink will need bigger buildings. Well, Centrelink's a good investment. If you're buying the commercial property with a Centrelink tenant, that's what people are looking for. They've been chasing that. They've been chasing that. I mean, there we go. You know? There we go. Bloody hell. Hang on, I'm just going to adjust. There we go. Florian, use Parler, not Facebook. No, Simon, that's not the point, mate. It's not. It's got nothing to do with one platform over another. It has everything to do with the government intervening in the private relationships or private discussions and contracts between private businesses. That's what it has everything to do with. You know, they can just do the same thing to any other platform. You know, it doesn't matter. It's just, I had a viewer was sending me some messages, some news on LinkedIn. Why isn't LinkedIn mentioned in this? Why isn't Microsoft being done? Because they share news. They do exactly the same thing Facebook does. It's probably because it's not significant enough yet, or it hasn't appeared on people's radar. But just think about that too. All they're doing is, I mean, look at the news. Look at half the news. Half the shit we look at. Some of it's just all advertising dressed up as news. Advertising dressed up as news. The other half is they'll take a media release, take some quotes from there, and then go on Twitter and get public responses. How many times have you seen that? Or it's advertising. So, do we need to protect that? Do we need the government to intervene and protect that? Or should they allow the market the freedom to actually create some innovation? That's my concern there. That's the scariest thing of where we're heading. And there's so many people will just you know, just be going after it and going, yeah, I hate no, most people just don't care. Okay, most of them don't give a shit about Facebook, and it's just for older people or people to share stuff. But it's the principle of the thing that's a really big problem. Rolf is sick of all of the politics, all the political correctness and bias on the ABC. Yeah, you're right there, mate. It's frustrating. The Grand Wizard, we're not in it because of the pandemic, it's the response. Yeah, no, this is the price we have paid. This is the price we have paid to flatten the curve. This is what we've paid. This is the cost. This is why, when I looked at, you know, my video by D.A. Well, I was going through the paper by D.A. Henderson about disease mitigation. This is why they didn't recommend it. And I'll bring it up here. They didn't recommend it. Because this, if you haven't watched it, guys, I suggest you have a look. This one here. Have a look at it. You know, he's not a a slightly important person that probably knows more about a lot than our health officials. You know, he kind of eradicated smallpox on the planet. You know, Luke is saying they're trying to flatten the boomer debt unwind. I mean, it feels like a lot of smart money is getting out now. I mean, this is the thing. These articles appearing, spruiking articles are appearing right now in the news to encourage young people to go out and take huge debt to buy property right now when we've got a GDP crash that we have never seen in living memory. Is that ethical? Shouldn't there be ethical standards in our media? It's just nuts. It is just utterly nuts. So, Big Pepper is saying, it seems like the government forgot about flattening the curve. It turned it into elimination. Yeah, it feels like it, doesn't it? It feels like it. You know? You know, that's it. That's it. So, we'll see if there's anything... Let's look at Twitter. Let's look at some Twitter posts, guys. Let's see. I mean, you know, isn't that what the journalists do? I've typed in Australian recession. Jason Clare MP. The deepest recession in Australian history has just been announced. We've just moved a motion to debate it. The Liberals are voting to gag it, and the PM has literally turned his back on the debate. What do you want to debate? Seriously, what's there to debate? It's a recession. But, okay. Here we go. Shane Wright. This is what Australia's first recession in 29 years looks like. Yep. Matt's asking for a property price forecast. Mate, I'll leave that to you to guess. What do you think this is going to do for confidence? Brisbane Time, Australia's in recession, biggest economic contraction since the Great Depression. ABS confirms. The Australian economy has recorded its worst fall on record, contracting by 7%, officially ending the near 3-decade streak of uninterrupted economic growth. Brett Mason, Australia's officially in recession. The economy fell 7%. Wow. Andrew's thinking house prices back to 2010 levels. So if we bring up this chart here, that'll show us to about here, 2010. Have a look. Okay. So we're saying, look at the yellow line. Oh, well, Perth would be okay. Perth's already there, guys. So it's north right. Are we heading back? Are we copying Perth? Are we copying Perth? But, I mean, look at the dark blue. Look at, what is it, Melbourne. That would take him down to 60. So that's about a 50% fall in Melbourne, if we're going back to 2010. But the RBA guaranteed us only 40% falls. Thanks, Depression Pie. From a small town in Canada. Must be cold up there, mate. I watch sometimes that Canadian guy, the guy's a game shop as well, and he discusses similar things from a Canadian perspective. It sounded like a nightmare over there, but at least you can just drive over to America, can't you? You can escape Trudeau and get to America at least, and go to one of those, you know, states that no one cares about you. What's Matt Berry say? Australia officially enters recession. John Ruddock. The technical definition of a depression is 10%. Really? I've never seen that. I've never seen that. You know, where do you get that depression? Where do you get that definition from? I'll ask him later. We can avoid that fate if we promptly and robustly reopen. Calling to reopen the economy. Mark, he didn't sell his bank shares, mate. He sold some of his bank shares and invested in, well, his fund invested in a gold mining company, Barrick Gold, because it's his whole approach. It can make money. So, One accurate forecast I made in class this morning. Every man and his dog would declare a recession. As started with the second quarter of negative growth. Yep. There's one from Zach. Recession confirmed as the pandemic sees Australia's economy. No, it's not the pandemic. It's the government interventions to try and address the pandemic, guys. That's the difference. Rolf, as there is no official depression description. I didn't think there was. I would argue that... Actually, I'll bring up... I'll bring up my chart I did. I'll bring up a chart I did. I would argue that we've actually been depressed with per capita GDP growth since the GFC. I'm searching for that now. I'll bring that up. Australia enters recession after 3 decades of growth. Yep. Sydney Morning Herald. Australia is now officially in recession. Australia suffered its deepest economic contraction since the 30s. Here we go. I mean, there you go. That's the recession Australia had to have, guys, right there on that chart. That shows it quite well. That shows it quite well. Hang on. Okay, I can't find that data. It's not coming up. Advanced ad. ASX 200 up today. Oh, just wait, mate, wait. We'll have to see. They're probably priced it in. But then it gets worse than expected. It's worse than expected. Let's see what else. Breaking. Australia's officially in recession. It's first in 29 years. Its economy shrank by 7% in the June quarter, according to the ABS. This is the worst GDP result Australia ever recorded. Now, here's the question. Here's the really, shall I say, scary question for you. A scary question. Do you think this will play out in the polls? How do you think it'll wind up in the next election, guys? Are we at risk of having a Labor government in charge at a federal level and at every state? And what would that do for our state? Our nation. What else? The Australian. Yep. So, seems to... Australia's officially in recession. Robbie Thornton. I mean, no one really is surprised. Citation AU is saying vote One Nation. The Greens will get in. Who do you think would be worse running the economy, the Greens or One Nation? Maybe they need to get Mark Latham up there. Queensland Coalition will get in. You think, Matt? What do you think? Well, I mean, you know what we do. We don't let babies come to our hospitals here so they can die, but we let AFL players cross the borders. That's the Queensland way, isn't it? This is going to be really tough on a generation, and I'm worried they're going to shift socialistic. That's what scares me. I'm not saying One Nation is bad, unless other people are saying that. I'm just saying that, well, they need a little bit more rigor to their economic approach, which can happen. You know, I honestly think they're becoming a more they're representing more and more opinions of more Australians every day. Every day. You know, how many people I'm seeing in the comments whenever you discuss anything One Nation, they go, oh, wait a minute, I always thought they were bad, and they're actually pretty good. It's funny that, isn't it? End two-party politics, put the major parties last. Yes, fantastic. I agree. Regardless of who you vote for. You know, Jessica doesn't like Pauline's voice. Oh, well, you know, women hate women in leadership, don't they? Isn't that how it is? Heise, your thoughts on everyone wearing a mask? That is not... yeah, I mean... If you really want to take care of yourself, get a proper one to isolate the what you use for strip and lead. That'll work. You know, real one. A real one. Everything else is it can have some benefits if you're ill. You know? I don't think it's all these people who are terrified that, oh, it reduces your oxygen. That's all bullshit. You get these idiots that are measuring themselves with oxygen meters. They don't realize when you breathe out, there's going to be a higher CO2 concentration in your breath. That's good. That means you're alive. So, I just think it should be a choice thing. I think if they should have done it, they should have done it right at the beginning and made it voluntary or paid people for it. Flying Wombat I should ask Victorians how the taste of socialism is going. Yeah, well, you get what you vote for, don't you? So, Business Insider, 7%. Bloomberg, breaking. Australia falls into recession. Its first recession in almost 30 years. Shrinks 6.3%. ComSec, 7%. Patrick Durkin, Australia's officially in recession for the first time in 29 years. So it's making the news everywhere. And this old closing down image is getting its citation. I don't know what you want me to explain, mate. What do you want me to explain? Can you repeat the question? Australia enters recession. Mullets will be back in fashion. I don't know. Who's going to win, Trump or Biden? Well, I think Trump will win. I think a lot of Americans, a lot of Democrats, center people will look at the violence, look at their side praising it, and then they'll flip. But it's just a nightmare over there. It's an utter nightmare. It'd be crazy. Grand Wizard's asking what the agenda is here. Sometimes there doesn't have to be one, mate. See, this is the thing. It could be two things. It could be a massively planned conspiracy to intervene in all the world economies and bring about the Great Reset, or it could just be a bunch of people that, well, have all been prepared and planned and are eager to implement this system. Because, they've trained for this. There's been discussions for this. There's been concerns for this. So there's a reason why you have similar approaches all over the world. I mean, in the end, it doesn't really matter. We're all screwed anyway. I mean, look at this. This is the price we're paying, everyone. This right here is the price we're paying. This is a recession. Now, the problem is, if this has the political consequences of this, if this pushes us much further to the hard left, if people advocate for more government intervention in our lives, we're seeing this with, free speech is severely restricted here in Australia. You can't even have public debate about certain things. You've got, restrictions on travel now, all these other interventions. But before that came in, you've got discriminatory laws based on flimsy premises with regards to, gender and other rubbish that doesn't actually stack up to reality. And there's laws being pushed forward. You've got businesses openly advocating and publicly supporting groups that have Marxist and socialist ideologies and getting praised for it. You've got, discrimination all through social media. You've got virtue signaling and shaming. And so, yeah, it's definitely going to be an interesting time. So there's a whole lot going on before we even had all of this. Now we've got this. There's going to be a whole lot of people that are... what do I think about the violence caused by Antifa? I mean, I'm not surprised. They're terrorists. They're terrorists. It's no different. What hang on. Did UK GDP drop 20%? Let's have a look at this. Are you sure? Holy shit! And here we are prattling on about our 7% fall like we're suffering. And this is insane, over 20%. US gross domestic product shrank by 20.4% for this in the second quarter of 2020, the most since comparable records began in 55. And compared to market expectations, oh, wait, don't worry, guys, don't worry. It beat expectations. It beat expectations. 20.5% contraction. A preliminary estimate showed. That was the second consecutive quarterly decline in GDP, officially entering a recession. See, here's the thing, guys. We're seeing this. You know, we're all here crying about Australia going to shits. You know, oh, 7%, it's so tough. But here's the thing. Compared to the UK, how are we going to look? Negative 20%. Negative 20%. Wait till they blame it on Brexit. They'll blame it on Brexit. Wow. Take care, Flying Wombat. Thanks for joining, mate. Appreciate it. Yeah, I'll try and stream later tonight. If we get some footage. 20%. Wow. So we're in the shits, but we're not in as bad shits as the UK or as other countries. Chat mod's asking me to give a gold prediction. I've got no idea, mate. I've got no idea. You want to go to all the gold bugs for that. You know, you want to go to the gold bugs for that. Go to Peter Schiff or Mike Maloney. Go to them. I don't know. You know, gold I consider just as a hedge against hyperinflation. That's what I'm, and the issues with the Australian dollar. Whoa, let's have a look at this. Let's see what they're saying here. 20%. UK recession. When was this updated? Oh, no, that happened. That was a while ago. I didn't even know. USA? What are they at? Let's have a look. So here's the thing. Negative 30%. Negative 30%. So, Australia could be looking a lot better compared to these other countries. What do you think? Anyway, guys, thank you all for joining me for this episode. I thought this is a bit of a historic moment we should look at. We're now officially in recession. We're officially in recession. As always, thank you all for watching. Any questions or anything before I head off? Rolf is feeling feeling happy about 7%. Well, it's all comparative, isn't it, mate? When you look at 30% in the States and then 20% in the UK, I kind of feel a bit stupid how we're so worried about 7%. And you know what? You know what'll happen? All the foreigners will see, oh, Australia's doing great. They're doing great. So let's all buy property. Buy property. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. I'll probably do, once we get the speech from our treasurer, I'll probably do a stream about that. I'll try and catch it and record it later today. Otherwise, take care, have a great day, and, well, we probably should all get back to work, actually. But, you know, I mean, this is a once-in-a-lifetime thing, so I thought we got to do it. Rolf was going, you got to laugh. It's serious, though. Yeah, I mean, that's life, you know. You got to take it. Take care, guys. Thanks for watching, and I will see you all in the next episode.